Hello everybody, welcome to the first video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the 30 strongest characters in One Piece. Yeah, this isn't going to be the easiest video, and this is kind of on the spot. I haven't really, planned out much. I kind of planned out like my top 10, because I feel like in order to make 30 through 20, I kind of have to have like the basis of like, what the highest caliber in One Piece is. Um, So we're gonna start from 30, and this is my opinion. So if anyone in the comments wants to write what they think of the 30 strongest characters in One Piece, you're happy to, and I'll read it, and I'll see if I like it. And let's get started. So at number 30, my number 30, we got the one and only third commander of the Sweet Commanders, Cracker. Cracker is interesting because I think he's strong, right? Because he's obviously strong. He's the third commander of the Big Mom Pirates, but I also think that the Big Mom Pirates, they are a little lackluster. Um, Not to say that they're weak, and not to say that they aren't probably in the top five strongest crews. It's just that their portrayal has not been that good because they. So there's Katakuri, the first division commander of the sweet Big Mom Pirates, whatever. And he has a really good portrayal because he is seen beating Luffy, and then eventually it goes down to going toe to toe with Luffy, and Luffy never beats Katakuri necessarily, and I know it's a debate within the community. Luffy never necessarily beats Katakuri, it's just it gets to that point basically. It gets to the point where Katakuri respects Luffy and he falls on his back and he declares a loss. But it's not technically a loss, but you take it, you take the win, you take the loss. That just shows how honorable Katakuri is. Um, he has a really good portrayal. Smoothie, I mean, if you look at the power of Smoothie itself, it looks OP. Smoothie has not done shit in One Piece yet. She tried to stop Brook from stealing the poneglyph. Did not work out, and Big Mom had to stop him, so that was not necessarily the best portrayal. We did see her completely drain a human of their liquid and drink it as a smoothie, which is pretty OP as it is, which is why people are so, like, up on Smoothie. Cracker had a whole fight. Cracker had a whole fight where he had a great portrayal at first. Luffy, a hungry kid, who's hungry, and he's always wanting food, and so this is the perfect opponent. He can eat him right away, but then he realizes that these crackers that he's fighting and eating at the same time, that they're just not going away, and he can't hit the real body of Cracker. And eventually he does it, going Gear 4 Tank Man, and he's able to eat everything, and then just store it into a powerful punch that's just like bam, and it just one shots the Cracker body of Cracker, and it reveals the real body, and we we can infer that Cracker in his real body. Because what happens is he has the is it a javel? I don't know if it's a javel, but it's like some type of sword. It's like a really pointy, weird sword. I think it's a javel, but I'm not sure. I'm not like I'm not a swords guy. Um, but he pointed at Luffy, and he of course tries to strike Luffy with it, and he gets destroyed. He gets absolutely destroyed. But with his position on the Big Mom Pirates, you can kind of infer that he is um sorry if you can hear that, by the way. My window's open, so but you can kind of infer that he does have great swordsmanship, but I would also say that Vista and Mihawk, their level of expertise with the sword, it's better, to say the least. It's probably way better. And I think if someone like Akainu, who I think is, spoiler alert, probably one of the strongest characters in One Piece, probably the strongest, if Akainu were to fight Cracker and get his Cracker body, like, and just do like a magma fist, the goddamn Cracker bodies would be destroyed. Like, they would not even stand a chance. And then Cracker from there, who his real body would be revealed, I doubt that he would be able to even stand a chance against Sakainu with his swordsmanship. Even if he does have swordsmanship, which we've seen a little bit, and it was kind of inferred that he does, just not on the level of Mihawk and Vista, who are probably like the best swordsmen in One Piece, except for Ryuma, who dead, so he's not going to be on this list. Um, but I think Cracker's at the bottom. I think there are 29 people who can beat him, but I think he's number 30. I don't think there are more than 29 of people who can beat him, because I think putting him any lower than in this, just barely in this top 30 list, I think would be a disservice to Cracker, because he is strong. He's just not as strong as the 29 people who are in the list. Now, 29 and above, from 29 to 10, it's going to be an improv. It's going to be an improv, because I don't have 29 to 20 planned, but I do have the top 10 planned. So, oh, shoot, wait. I did not mean to do that. Let me go ahead and put that back to where 30 is. Okay, and I'm going to actually go from the top down for a little bit, because I think if I plan out my top, like, 10-ish, I can kind of make a basis on the top 10 of what my 29 to 10 to 11 is going to be. So, I did it again. See, I hate Google Sheets. I barely use it. I decided to use it for this, just to get like a visual representation that isn't too bad. Um, anyways, I think I'm gonna start from uh 8, or I'll start from 7, because I have kind of a controversial opinion at 7. 7 for me is Big Mom. Now I'm gonna rapid fire through 7 to 1, because I think explaining 7 to 1 instead of in each one individually, I think is better if you see the context. All right, just don't roast me yet. All right. Now, number 7 is Big Mom. All right. Number 6 is Sengoku. All right, all right. Number 5 is Garp, the Marine hero Garp. All right, all right, all right. Now, the things get spicy. All right. This was where things get good. Now, number 4, I think I'm kind of blanking a little bit. I had an idea. Um, Number 4 is going to be. I'm blanking. I'm blanking. See, I did not prepare for this. I kind of wanted to go in blind, because I felt like me discussing my thought process while I'm in the action of planning out my top 30 characters, because I've never done this before. I've never been much of a power scaler in the One Piece community, so this is my first try. And of course, later I'm gonna give this a more advanced try once I'm into the power scaling of One Piece a little more. But um, number 4. This is gonna be hard to do, but it's Whitebeard. All right, number 4 is Whitebeard. Number 3. Um, this is where it was really hard, because my so for numbers 3 to 1, right? I had a layout. Kaido, I think, stayed on my number 2. Kaido is, I think, no matter who is number 3 or number 1, I think is the second strongest character in all of One Piece, because I think the number 3 or number 1 have the ability to beat Kaido, but I don't think Kaido is number 1. I think there is one person that is stronger than Kaido. That we just don't think is stronger than Kaido, or, as his title implies, he's the strongest creature. But, of course, we get people who are going up in the ranks like Akainu and Shanks, who, Akainu, he has to be relatively new, because, as we saw in the Robin flashback, I think he is a captain or a vice admiral. I think he's a vice admiral. Who vice admirals aren't necessarily, there's not going to necessarily be a vice admiral besides Garp, who is going to be in the top 30. So he probably made it up in the ranks in the last, like, I mean, 20 years maybe. I don't know, because the whole thing with Robin, like 20 years ago. I don't know. It was like 20 years. before the present. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put Shanks. Now, here's where it gets good. Alright, see, my reasoning as to why Shanks over Akainu, and actually Kaido, in fact, who isn't seen or heard to be the strongest creature alive. I'm gonna start with the obvious reason first. I think Shanks does not have a devil fruit, alright? And you have a devil fruit. You have a devil fruit. You have a devil fruit. You do not have a devil fruit. You do have a devil fruit, and you do have a devil fruit. So 5 of these 7 people have devil fruits, and of course, Shanks, who is a Yonko, who his bounty was revealed in God, what chapter? It was like chapter like 950. Like I'm not good with chapter numbers. It was like in the 950s or something like that. It was in the break between Act 2 and 3 of Wano. His bounty was revealed, and his bounty was revealed to be the one of the highest bounties of all time. And of course, he is the new coming Yonko. And the man who is a new coming Yonko, right? Number one, he has no devil fruit, right? Now we can assume, and actually it's pretty much confirmed, he has hockey, and he's probably gonna have all 3 types of hockey because Conqueror's hockey was shown when he had his little clash with Whitebeard, and you know he just stared at Whitebeard, and then all the fodder collapsed. And this was before hockey was known to be in the series. But of course, everyone went together, and they're like, "Yeah, this is Conqueror's hockey." Um, Conqueror's hockey also could have been used in a less like probably in a less formidable state with, or maybe even more formidable. I don't know, but I feel like there's Conqueror's hockey involved in Shanks's reasoning to stop the war when he went to Marineford and then said, "Stop the war." Everyone stopped. I think Conqueror's hockey might have been involved in that, but we don't know because it could be that Shanks is involved with the government somehow, and which is seen from the Reverie when he's talking to the Gorsei, and he's like, "Oh, there's someone rising up in the ranks I need to tell you about." And for the Gorsei to listen to a Yonko, who's one of the strongest pirates in the world, who, of course, you know, the world government eventually wants to thrive to get rid of these Yonko, but Yonko are in a different balance of the world than the world government because it's the Yonko, the warlords, and the like Marines, and a Yonko talking to the Marines instead of battling with the Marines. A Yonko talking to the Gorsei, in fact, who are besides Emu, are the highest, most likely highest, unless there is someone on the caliber of Emu who we don't know, which could be very likely. Um, the Gorsei are up there. They're up there, and we don't know if they're strong because they're a bunch of old guys, but they are definitely up there in rank. So for Shanks to be able to talk to people like that, for Shanks to be able to clash with Whitebeard without having a devil fruit like Whitebeard does, and Whitebeard's devil fruit was one of the most colossal, damaging devil fruit in One Piece. I mean, it's an earthquake, and if we saw from Marineford, an earthquake can destroy an island. It can do some damage, and he probably didn't use his devil fruit there, but it's implied that Shanks is on Whitebeard's level, possibly even stronger because Shanks clashes with Kaido. Freaking Kaido, the strongest creature alive. The freaking red-haired Shanks, the human clashes with the strongest creature alive with just hockey. So his hockey literally, I imagine his hockey is probably on the scale of what Goldie Rogers was. For Goldie Roger to be able to clash with Prime Whitebeard. Now, of course, Shanks clashed with old Whitebeard, who's clearly not in his prime, because Prime Whitebeard, it probably would have been a different story because Prime Whitebeard is on the level of Goldie Roger, as we've seen from the Odin flashback. But man, for him to clash with an old Whitebeard, because old Whitebeard, he rocked the floor in Marineford. I mean, he rocked the floor with the Marines themselves. The Marine entity went to Whitebeard Well, they didn't go to Whitebeard. Whitebeard went to them. And until Akayuna came along, and then Blackbeard, who finished the job, of course, Mans was rocking everyone. He was rocking. And, you know, Shanks, meanwhile, at the same time that Whitebeard is rocking everyone, Shanks is seen to be stopping Kaido from going to Marineford. He didn't just like clash with Kaido, and it was, well, it could have been equal, but it was referred to as him. He was able to stop Kaido from going to Marineford, which is most likely a clash because the Yonko aren't like always buddy buddy with each other. It was most likely a clash that was able to not necessarily defeat Kaido. I don't think, definitely did not defeat Kaido. Definitely didn't. I don't think it did much harm to Kaido, but he was able to clash with Kaido. And if he's a human without a devil fruit, who's able to do that, his hockey has to be on another level. And I feel like when Shanks fights Blackbeard at the end of the story, and Blackbeard eventually rises up in the ranks, he's not in this top like seven area. But when Blackbeard rises up in the ranks, I think Blackbeard is going to have to do something cheeky to beat my man Shanks, because I don't think he's going to be able to beat Shanks like legitimately. And as we know, the way Blackbeard is, he's a very cheeky person, and he expects things to go his way, and if it doesn't, which is seen in Marineford and his battle with Ace. But of course, eventually in his battle with Ace, it did go his way. But when it didn't go his way, you see him freaking out. So he's a person who expects things to go his way, and he's confident in that way. His confidence thrives off of things going his way. He's probably going to do anything he can for things to go his way. It kind of correlates with his, devil fruit sucking, devil fruit, power. You um, but I think Shanks, yeah, I think he is the strongest um character alive in One Piece right now. This is alive. Only characters that are alive, by the way. Well, except for Whitebeard. I had to include Whitebeard in this. He technically died, but I'm gonna include characters that were basically alive when the story began. So no Rocks. Even though Rocks could be alive, people are theorizing that it's not confirmed. We don't even know the power of Rocks. I mean, he's probably the strongest person in One Piece, or in the top three. But I'm not going to just assume off of a little one, dialogue bubble story that Garp told in the flashback between Wano Act One, sorry, was it Act 2 and 3? It was between Act 2 and 3, yeah, I think. Um, so Shanks, I think yeah, he is basically the older protege of Goldie Roger. See, here's the thing, because Ace was supposed to be the protege of Goldie Roger until he died. So I think Shanks, until Shanks is most likely killed by Whitebeard, and then Luffy is going to be the person to be pushed to find the One Piece. He's already pushed to find the One Piece, but he's officially going to be pushed to find the One Piece. We don't know if Shanks is going to find the One Piece, but he's definitely going to stay as a Yonko until he dies, probably, and stay one of the freest men in the world as a Yonko, because I feel like he does have that similar mindset to Luffy, where he wants to be the freest man in the world, but of course we don't know if he wants to find the One Piece. Um, but I think that basically Shanks is kind of the new protege of Goldie Roger, because they traveled together, and Goldie Roger really respected Shanks as a little kid, and he thought that Shanks and Buggy, well, Buggy didn't really go to do great things, but he thought Shanks and Buggy were going to go and do great things. Um, and then, of course, his son came, and that's when he was like, "You're going to be the next Pirate King," but his son died. um, so, yeah, Shanks, I feel like he's destined to do great things. I think he's up there. I think he's the strongest character in One Piece, and honestly, I think numbers 1 to 3 could easily be interchangeable. I think from Whitebeard to Akainu, Kaido, and Shanks. I don't know, because you could put Shanks in number 3, and then maybe make the case that Whitebeard is close to the top 3. But where my list is at right now, I think only numbers 3, 2, and 1 are like exchangeable. There's a decent gap between number 4, 5, and 6. Look, I'll specifically say number 4, Whitebeard. It's not a big enough gap to call Whitebeard weak or necessarily weaker than these three, I guess. He could be, but it's a considerable enough gap to say that he is fine in his place where he is now. And then Garp and Sengoku. Garp helped freaking Roger beat Zebek. I mean, that's all you need to say. I mean, yeah, it was a help with Roger, who's probably the strongest man in One Piece, dead, of course. But it does not matter because Garp was is basically the smoker or Kobe or Akainu to Luffy, basically. If whoever, which one of the three you want to call, Luffy's marine rival. He's like that. And you have to be, you gotta be strong. I mean, come on. And it's kind of the same case with Shanks. Except I think in his old age, now, I think Garp is on the level of Whitebeard because not only are they both in their old age, and this is kind of the same with Sengoku, although Sengoku and Garp are interchangeable because I think Sengoku has a devil fruit. He has the Mystic Zoan devil fruit. He has the Buddha fruit. Garp is not of a devil fruit, but you gotta assume that he has amazing hockey, and you could say that Sengoku has amazing hockey, but I would assume that Sengoku has worse hockey than Garp to make Garp the Marine hero, because Garp is the Marine hero, which is why I think he's up here. I think he is probably the second strongest Marine of all time, besides Akainu, who probably is not regarded as a Marine hero because people don't like him. He's not the most likable person. He is probably the strongest Marine, but he's not the most likable person. Um, but Garp, I mean, he's like a funny guy, stuff like that, and he helped defeat Rox Z back. Rox D, sorry, Z, Rox D Zebek, which is probably the one of the biggest feats in the series in itself, just to fight alongside Roger, to be a rival of Goldie Roger, who was literally the person who pushed all of One Piece into, just where it is now. And people want to be like Goldie Roger. I mean, think about fighting alongside that guy and having that reputation. But of course, he's old. He's probably not nearly as strong. He's probably in the top 5, top 10, top 6. But for me, it's interchangeable between Sengoku and Garp. He's still probably that strong. And yeah, and I think Garp can beat Big Mom because I think Big Mom by portrayal so far, her potential, she can literally be up there. She could beat Akainu. Akainu can go down to number 4 and Whitebeard to number 5 and then Big Mom at number 3. That could have been possible. Or her portrayal, she needs to do something amazing at Wano in order to be in the top 3 or the top 5. She needs to do something amazing because right now I feel like she is the weakest Yonko besides Blackbeard. And of course, like Luffy, if you count, because he's the 5th Yonko technically. Um, it it's just her portrayal. I think it comes down to her portrayal because she has a rage, which is just like her rage is so out of control that it's so powerful, but it also takes away the smarts out of her in battle. So I feel like if you have someone who's smart enough, let's say Shanks. Shanks, you could probably infer he's a tactician. If you have someone who's smart enough, he could probably end up subduing Big Mom because Luffy was able to subdue Big Mom. And Luffy is dumb. Luffy is not smart at all. If you think Luffy is smart, I mean, he could be smart. He's smart in different ways, but on the outside, he's not. He's not very smart. He's not smart at all. But yeah, I think it's just as simple as that. Whoops. I think it's as simple as that. I think it's as simple as Big Mom is just like she's not a glass cannon because she can, take hits. I mean, she took hits from Gear 4 Luffy. She took hits from Sanji, which isn't much of a feat because Sanji's not the strongest, person. But, you know, like Big Father did not do anything to Big Mom. Big Father did nothing to Big Mom. Big Mom took those hits and said, "Screw you! I'm gonna punch you." Like man, she just she didn't one shot him, but man was dying. My man Capone was dying. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, um, I think there's a reason. I think it's reasonable for Big Mom to be this low. Portrayal's not that good. Power is insane. Her potential's insane. Portrayal has not been that good, and I don't feel like her portrayal is going to get that much better. She's a comic relief character, and she's kind of stuck in that role. She's kind of the comic relief character among the strongest characters. And I think for her to be that, she's in the strongest, but she's also in the weakest out of the strongest. Except for Blackbeard. We'll get to probably in part two. Part two, before we discuss. Kaido being number two, I just need to see more from him. In the recent chapter, no, in two recent chapters ago, he lifted up Onigashima, which is a feat in itself. I mean, you lift up an island, blah blah blah. And I think Kaido and Shanks could be interchangeable. Actually, I just have a feeling that it's just a gut feeling that there is one person stronger than Kaido. Because I cannot believe that Luffy is going to be the number one strongest person or be involved in that. I think there is one person that's going to stand in his way besides Blackbeard, who is the strongest, and it might be Shanks. But I don't think it's going to be an all-out fight with Shanks. I think it's just going to be a friendly duel, and if Luffy can keep up with Shanks and make Shanks like kind of worry a little bit, then Shanks is going to let Luffy go on. And I think just with Shanks and how he is, and him having no devil fruit, I think he naturally is stronger than Kaido, and I think he can beat Kaido, because I think just having no devil fruit and being a Yonko in itself, and being regarded as one of the top Yonko in itself, is a feat in itself that needs to be recognized. You need to be like the strongest person in One Piece. If you have no devil fruit and you are able to beat a Yonko, if you are able to beat, to fight, to clash with, and to be a Yonko, and he did all of that. Well, he didn't beat a Yonko, but he clashed with the Yonko. So yeah. I think this is it for part one. I kind of established number 30. I established the top 7. I established the highest peak of people in One Piece, and I established kind of like the one lowest person. I think that's enough for today. I think for part 2, I'm going to plan it out a little more, because I was kind of rambling, and this is also my first video of the channel. But I kind of did this on purpose, because I wanted to put my thought process into this video as if I'm making this list blind, which I kind of am. I kind of had this top 7 planned out, and I kind of had 30 planned out. I literally do not have from, what do you call it? Also, I accidentally deleted Cracker Dance. I am not good with freaking the stupid Google Slides. But yeah, I think that's it for today. I don't know my upload schedule yet. I don't know how often I'm going to upload. I'm probably going to take it slow until I feel like that as a One Piece channel, I feel like I have the motivation to keep going and busting out videos. I'm also going to be rereading One Piece, because I only read it once, and let's just say my memory isn't the best. So if I were to make analysis videos, I definitely need to reread One Piece, and I think I'm definitely going to do that soon. And I might even do like a little review series as I reread One Piece, because it's been like almost a year since I read One Piece for the first time, which isn't long technically, but for me, for my trash memory, for my memory that's completely ass, um, I know it's pretty much a reread every year required in order for me to actually be able to talk about One Piece and not make myself a fool, which I probably did this video because this is kind of like my power scaling as I'm reading One Piece for the first time. As I'm caught up, but as I have read One Piece for the first time. So I'm definitely going to reread One Piece. I might make a review series on it, like going through arc by arc as I reread it. And I think that's going to be interesting for like East Blue and stuff, because East Blue is, and I think it's the case with like a lot of series, once you progress through, you kind of view the beginning way different. So I'm expecting to view East Blue way different from the one I did before. So anyways, yeah, expect some videos. Not a consistent upload schedule yet. I'm definitely not going to promise that yet. I definitely need a little more like motivation. And I think rereading the second time is going to give me the motivation. So I feel like I'll make this like top 30 series, right? And then after I reread One Piece and maybe do the reviews, then I'll start doing analysis videos, and then maybe like a year from now or something like that, when I kind of have my One Piece knowledge filled back up again in my brain, I'm gonna make a version 2 of this. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed the video. Smash like if you did. Yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a nice day.